What's up, Celtics Nation? The vibe right now is electric. After that absolute madness from Peyton Pritchard against the Cavs, everyone was asking the same question. Can he carry the load all by himself? Well, the medical staff just dropped an answer that changes our entire week. We've got some heavy hitters coming back, just in time for the war against New York. But Brad Stevens didn't stop there. He's been moving in the shadows and just brought in a former Nets starter that nobody saw coming. What does this mean for our roster? You aren't going to believe what we've got today. So sit back, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and let's dive straight into the news. Let's be real, family. That game against the Cavaliers on Sunday was one of those emotional roller coasters that only basketball can provide. Watching Peyton Pritchard step up and drop 42 points, a season high, was absolutely insane. It was heroic. But just between us rational fans, we know that's not sustainable in the long run. We can't depend on a historic performance from the bench every single night to win NBA games. Pritchard is huge, but he needs help, and our defensive system needs its pillars back. That is exactly why the injury report update for tonight's showdown against the New York Knicks at TD Garden comes as an immediate relief for our rotation, which was stretched dangerously thin. The news that's letting us breathe a sigh of relief is that Derrick White and Neemias Queta have officially been listed as probable for today's classic matchup. And do not underestimate the weight of this. White was dealing with a right calf contusion, and any experienced fan knows calf injuries are tricky and demand maximum caution. As for Neemias Queta, our Portuguese giant who has been a revelation in the paint, he was managing a left ankle sprain, suffered back on November 23rd against the Magic. The fact that both sat out against the Cavs was clearly a preservation strategy by Joe Mazzulla, considering the brutal stretch of 5 games in 7 days we're facing. They rested. The team survived on Pritchard's grit, and now they're back with full tanks. And why is this crucial right now? Because the opponent is the Knicks. You remember what happened in October, right? We went to New York and took a 105-95 loss that left a bad taste in our mouths. Without Jason Tatum, who remains out rehabbing that Achilles tendon, an absence that always leaves a massive void in scoring and offensive gravity. Derrick White's return is fundamental to organizing the offense and, more importantly, to locking down New York's aggressive perimeter. And in the paint, despite the laudable effort from Xavier Tillman and solid minutes from Amari Williams, having Queta's vertical presence changes the geometry of our defense. The team desperately needed this injection of stability, because relying on improvisation and small ball, with Josh Minott playing the 5, works in small doses. But against a physical team like the Knicks, we'd get crushed on the glass without our big men. Their return restores order to the house and puts every piece back in its original role, taking the overload off Pritchard's shoulders. But hold on, because while we're focused on our stars returning for the game, behind the scenes, away from the spotlight of the main court, the Celtics front office just made a silent move that could have massive implications for our future depth. Brad Stevens doesn't sleep on the job, and while we're celebrating the starter's return, he went to the market to fish for a low-risk, high-upside opportunity that was just sitting there for the taking. The name of the hour is Keon Johnson. Maybe you, the fan who only focuses on the main roster, didn't notice, but the main Celtics just claimed this kid for our G League squad. And his resume is way more interesting than your average developmental player. We're talking about an athlete who was the 21st overall pick in the 2021 draft. The guy has first-round pedigree, elite athleticism, and most impressively, he's coming off a season where he was a full-time starter on an NBA team. That's right, last season, playing for the Brooklyn Nets, Keon Johnson started in no fewer than 56 games. He averaged 10.6 points, nearly 4 rebounds, and over 2 assists, while playing 24 minutes a night. It's not every day you get to add a 22-year-old to your development system who just posted a double-digit scoring season in the league. Now, you must be asking, if he played that much, why did the Nets cut him? And why is he available for our G League team? The answer lies in efficiency, and this is where the magic touch of Celtics development comes in. Despite the volume of play in Brooklyn, who were tanking and losing games on purpose, Johnson had serious struggles with his shot, shooting under 39% from the field and just 31% from three-point range. In modern basketball, and especially in Mazzulla's system that prizes spacing, those numbers are deal breakers. Brooklyn, clogged with draft picks and retooling the roster, decided to let him go before training camp started, betting on other names. And that is where our golden opportunity appears. Bringing Keon Johnson to Maine is a classic career rehabilitation play. We don't have an open two-way spot right now, with Amari Williams, Max Shulga, and Ron Harper Jr. occupying those spaces. So Johnson arrives hungry to prove he belongs among the elite, but without the guarantee of immediate NBA minutes. It's a trial by fire for him, and an insurance policy for us. Think about it. If we have more injuries in the guard rotation, which, knock on wood, is always a risk with our history, having someone with real NBA experience, who has faced the best in the world as a starter, waiting in Maine is an absurd luxury. He is an explosive scorer who just needs to learn better decision-making and smarter shot selection. If there's a coaching staff capable of fixing a young talent's shot selection, it's ours. Brad saw value where others saw a cast-off, and turning rivals' trash into green gold has been our specialty in recent years. The scenario is clear. We've recovered our defensive backbone for the classic matchup, which is vital. But we've also placed a bet on the future with an explosive scorer in Maine. Does Derrick White's return guarantee a win against the Knicks even without Tatum? Or are we going to depend on another miracle from the bench? And about Keon Johnson, is he a diamond in the rough or a Nets bust? I want to see your honest opinions. Could this bet turn out to be an absolute steal? Smash that like button if you believe in the win today, and subscribe now to follow every play of this insane season.